Hey, you got 5 minutes? You want to learn everything you need to know about this crazy Inspirada real estate market? If so, check out my next video. I'll see you on the inside. Hey guys, happy Friday. It's Rico Romano here with Paragon Premier Properties, bringing you another episode of Inspirada Beat's 5-minute market recap. During my 5 minutes with you, I'm going to cover everything you need to know to get caught up on the real estate market here in Inspirada. So whether you live here or plan on buying here, this is the video that you're going to want to check out to make sure you understand what's happening in our fast-moving market today. First off, let's get a couple of admin things out of the way. As you can tell from my background, I'm not in my normal setup. I'm actually coming to you from sunny Wilsonville, Oregon, where I'm spending some time with the in-laws. However, I did want to get you this information because I feel it's very important to keep you updated. Inspirada market is moving quickly, and I want to make sure that you're not missing any of the vital information that you need in order to keep up to date. The last thing I want to talk about before we get to the numbers is make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I want to make sure that you guys get all the information as quickly as I put it out so you don't miss anything. With this fast-moving market, you have to be on top of what's going on around you. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. One thing that's on everyone's mind right now is inventory levels. How many properties do we have available in the Inspirada market? Well, currently, as of Friday, March 19th, we have 17 properties available on the market. One of which, I have to toot my own horn, is one of my own listings on 2186 Moderno, in case you're interested. Now, this number of 17 is a little bit of a jump from last week where we only had 13. So I think the word is kind of getting out a little bit more about how low inventory rates are, and those people that have been on the fence are starting to put their properties on the market. In fact, this week, we had 8 new properties in the last 7 days come on the market. Last week, we had 4 new properties. So you can see that there's a little momentum building there. The numbers are still dramatically low, but we're seeing some inventory levels go in a general direction that is healthy for the market. Also, in the last 7 days, we had 10 properties go into escrow. Again, I want to say congratulations to my clients. We were able to get one of our properties on Prairie Pine into escrow. And I want to talk about that for a minute because that property, my clients were conventional buyers. They had conventional loan, and we beat out 2 cash offers. We were able to beat those offers out because I was able to leverage my business contacts. And there's a couple other things that experienced agents know what to do in this kind of market in order to get their client the property that they need. So I got to tell you, you need an agent that knows the hyper market as well as exactly how to handle multiple offer situations if you want to be successful as a buyer. If you need any advice or need anything else, please make sure you reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer questions you have. During this week as well, we had 0 expired and 0 withdrawn. Now, as far as how many properties actually closed this week, well, that number is 9. And that is up from 7 from last week. Now, the important thing we also really want to talk about are days on market. In my last week's video, I talked about how realtors traditionally calculate days on market and how they take data from 6 months. Well, unfortunately, with the way the market's moving right now, you cannot use any data that's over 30 days old. In fact, to be really on top of things, which is what you need to be looking at the last 7 days, which is why I put this report out every 7 days. So I looked at the properties that went into escrow over the last 7 days. And what I found out of those properties that went into escrow, the average days on market was 12 and a half days. 12 and a half. That is even more amazing when you look at the fact that 2 out of those properties, one was on the market for 60 days and the other was on the market for 30 days. So in reality, a majority of those properties went into market in under 7 days. This market is moving quick. So you have to be prepared if you're a buyer to move fast, make a decision, have your financing in line. Looking at my watch, I see that we're almost out of time. But before I go, I want to talk to you about something that's very important and something I didn't get a chance to talk about in my last video. And that's months of inventory. As realtors, when we look at a market, we always take a look at months of inventory. And what that means is you take the current amount of homes on the market. Like in Inspirada, we currently have 17. So you take those 17 and you figure out how long it would take if no other properties came on the market for those 17 homes to sell, right? So for instance, in Inspirada, you have 17. No one puts any other homes on the market. How many months will it take for those 17 properties to sell? And we won't have any properties left in Inspirada. A healthy market is usually around 4 to 5 months. In Inspirada, we currently have 0.89 months of inventory, so roughly about 3 weeks of inventory. In fact, an even more scary number is for the last month and a half, we've been hovering around 2 to 3 weeks of inventory. So it's just another indication of how low inventory really is in Inspirada. So in other words, if we don't get any other homes on the market next week, that means in 2 weeks, our 17 homes will be gone and there'll be nothing for sale in Inspirada. All right, the last point I always talk about are interest rates. Freddie Mac came out on Thursday with their national average of 3.09% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. Now, last year at this time, we were at 3.65%, so we're still doing pretty well. However, in my last week's video, I talked about the fact that we're starting to see momentum moving to higher interest rates. Now, these movements aren't significant, right? I mean, right now, like I said, we're at 3.09%. Last week, we were at 3.05%. The week prior, we were at 3.02%. And before that, we were under 3% for a number of weeks. So as you see, we're not seeing large jumps in the interest rates, but we are seeing a steady increase. Now, we'll have to keep an eye on that, but just like I said last week, even if interest rates do make a sudden movement upwards, I don't necessarily see that really affecting the market too much at this point. The biggest problem that's moving our market is the lack of inventory. So until we can get a bunch of homes back on the market, we're still going to see this crazy, insane market going on. All right, guys, that's my time for today. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. But before we go, don't forget, hit that like, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming reports about the Inspirada community. Okay? Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.